Hey everyone, my name is Adam Needens, and this is my intro video for EDL 854 Building Finance. Introduction, a little bit about me. I am married to my wife, Megan. We have two kids, a little boy who's 3, almost 4, and a little girl who is 1.5, and we have one dog at home as well. After high school, I went to Sterling College to get my degree. While I was there, I played baseball. I've been teaching in Lyons, Kansas for 9 years now. As you can see, all 9 years I've been teaching fourth grade. Little thing about me is I just love being outside as much as possible. At Lyons, I am the head middle school boys basketball coach and the head high school baseball coach. That kind of allows me to, one, be with the fourth graders during the day, and then later on in the day get to see middle school kids and high school kids as well. So it's nice to get to interact with all different levels of students. I'm also the public address announcer for all the football and basketball games. Our school currently is going through the Gemini process, or the redesign process, and that's a fun thing to get to see all the implementation of our new ideas and processes that we're trying as we go. The 10 items from going through our articles. Principals don't have a ton of control over what their budget actually is for the school year. They're not the ones setting the budget. If they were, there'd be a lot more money, I feel like. Districts are allocated money for specific spending. A lot of times that restricts how our money can be used, meaning they're trying to say we have a certain amount of money for each individual space within the school. And that's not always best, but it is or can be allocated that way. Different districts need financing for different needs within that specific building. This kind of ties in with number 2, that if a district is in need of certain funding, but they're only allotted a certain amount of money for that specific need, then it's not completely getting addressed. Number 4 says school-based management, or the SBM, might be the better method to run finances, as it allows those closest to the building to decide what is needed. So those people within the building are understanding on a day-to-day basis of what's needed within that building, and those would be the people best to drive our school funding. Many times economics drive the budgets, meaning perhaps the community you live in, the district that you live in, could even go up to state and federal funding, stuff like that. But that is where a centralized station for finances could be beneficial. Number 6, principals can be put in a situation that they've not been in with regards to people and having to manage those finances for that certain group, like a custodial staff. You all of a sudden get put in charge of your custodial staff, and you're allotted a certain amount of money, and you may not exactly know how much that's worth, how much each person should be making, all the finances that go with all of the custodial supplies and everything along those lines. Principals must understand financial reports for their building or for their district. You need to understand how to do all that, as that will come up probably on a day-to-day basis. Understand what tools and apps that are available to assist you and help you keep your financial data neat, organized, well kept. That way you're able to look it up at any time that you need it, or present that information whenever necessary. Building principals also know what is best for their school and should know how to best use that budget, whatever they're budgeted, accordingly based on school needs. I think every teacher in the building has an idea what their certain classroom needs, then that gets presented to the building principal. Depending on how many classroom teachers you have, you could be budgeting for a whole lot there, or you could be budgeting for a little, but everybody's going to want their certain items. Political challenges are always around, and that's could be starting at the top at a federal, could go down to the state, the local levels, but that's always going to be an issue when dealing with finances in education. And I think that's where a strong leader within the building comes into play. Things that I've gone over or seen my principal deal with budget-wise or finance-wise would be when teachers order classroom supplies and things of those nature. Sometimes you're allotted more money for supplies than other years. I've seen our process go through the process of going from 30 laptops for 3 different classrooms to one-to-one laptops. So that was a positive change, going through that financial step as well. My big concern, or a couple of my concerns, would be that sometimes there's too many needs in a building, and the funds just simply aren't there. So what do you do? How do you handle that situation with teachers? How do you handle that situation with all the stakeholders involved when you know everybody wants bigger and better, but the funding just simply is not there? Another thing is being able to pay a competitive salary to keep your teachers around, or to get quality teachers into your building. Everybody wants quality teachers. You got to be able to get them into your district is another thing that I would say is a concern. So that was my introduction video. The last slide here is going to be the references used if you're needing to check out for any more information on this topic. That's what's available right there. Thank you.